Hello and welcome to another Divinity Original Sin video. This is a beginner-friendly guide on how to start off your Sparking Swings character. Sort of a fire pyro battle mage, if you will. We're going to be covering the gear to look out for, how to build the character itself, the talents, the skills, and just how I personally would build from character creation screen. And one of the things that we're also going to be going over is the races, and which make for a good Sparking Swings character. So I think the Red Prince does have a very big and very good say in this particular role. And the reason why I think he has a good position is because even though I don't really rate Demonic Stare very highly, it does have some use inside of this party, but mostly because of the Dragon's Blaze. You're going to be investing a lot of points into Pyro. Pyro increases the damage of Dragon's Blaze, and it's nice just to have some pretty heavy damage coming from a 1 AP ability. You're going to be in melee range anyway, so he fits the build really nicely here. Sibyl, I think, makes an excellent Sparking Swings character, mostly due because of Flesh Sacrifice. Increases the 10% damage, which is multiplicative because it's magic she is working with, and an increase of 1 AP and AP as well is absolutely huge. I think Ethan and Losa make for decent Sparking Swings characters. Encourage is always nice to have at least one of these inside of the party, but Ingenious 5% critical chance and the 10% increase to the multiplier is pretty nice to have too. Thane makes for a good anything, just simply because of how overpowered Time Warp is. So whether there's the sad thing is that there's only one Thane, so you need to decide which character he fits in as. But for me personally, I do think that either the Red Prince fits a very nice role here because of the Dragon's Blaze, but I think personally Sibyl makes the best Sparking Swings character because of the Flesh Sacrifice. Now the build preset, as you can see here, plays a role in two things. Now you can see at the beginning here, I believe this is a sword. It looks pretty cool actually. We can see she's holding a sword. This means that with the Knight preset, we can find a two-handed weapon inside of the chest, inside the chest, sorry. On board the Merryweather, the opening ship. The other thing this has a bearing on is character recruitments. When recruiting a character, if they say they are a knight or you're clicking on the Knight preset, these skills are what's going to be brought along to the party, so just bear this in mind. So because we are a battle mage, as such, we are going to be looking for someone that has a staff. Now we can see the enchanter comes along with a staff in the chest. We're going to go with the build presets of the enchanter, but we're going to be able to edit the preset here. Now, being a character that relies on Sparking Swings, we are going to be using a staff. Staff is intelligence based, so the damage into intelligence is going to increase the damage we do with the staff and with the sparks. For strength and finesse, for the most part, we're going to be ignoring. So we're going to want to put as many points into intelligence as possible. Constitution is a little bit of a trap in this game. You could ignore this completely. Memory you might need a few points into this to acquire the skills that you want. But as a general rule of thumb, you want to keep this at a minimum so you can put more points into your damage based attribute, which is intelligence. After you've maximized intelligence, you will be looking to put points into wits, as this will increase your critical chance. Now, for the combat abilities, initially, so the way that you will want to build a Sparking Swings character is, a Sparking Swings character is not really going to be using pyro spells. They're going to be using the weapon skills abilities, because that is how sparks are created. So ideally, you want to be picking up AoE weapon skill abilities to produce as many sparks from a Sparking Swings as possible. Now, you don't have access to Sparking Swings here at level 1, but once you get to Fort Joy at level 2, you're going to have access to Sparking Swings. What you need to do is you need to get a Warfare book and a Pyro book and combine them together. That will create Sparking Swings for you. However, from character creation screen, we are going to build like a typical warrior would. Warfare and Polymorph. I'm not going to be covering civil abilities, so we're going to completely ignore this. In terms of your gear, what you should be focusing on, you should be trying to find gear with intelligence, critical chance, pyrokinetic, scoundrel, two-handed. Those are your primary stats that you're going to be using for this build. In terms of your school abilities here, what should you be focusing on to increase your damage the most? Well, you're not really going to be needing too many points to dip into other things, but if you do, you need to put the points in as and so you wish. But for a Sparking Swings character, you'll need, from around the beginning of the game, you'll need at least 1 point into Warfare and 1 point into Pyro. That is to get the Sparking Swings skill. Polymorph for Bullhorns. Those are the core school abilities that you're going to need. But as you grow and the further you get into the game, Pyrokinetic is going to be your first point of maximizing. You're going to be maximizing your Pyrokinetic first. After that, you could look at putting points into Scoundrel / two-handed. In terms of the skills that we're going to take from character creation screen, very much like the warrior physical type, we would look at taking Battle Stomp and Bullhorns, though for this kind of build, you're not really going to be using it for the knockdown. You're using it to create, to hit multiple enemies to produce as many sparks as possible. And Battle Stomp is able to do this. Same as Bullhorns, it is again another AoE ability which can produce multiple sparks. And this is why I like taking Battering Ram with this particular build. Here, you start off the game with three abilities that have the capability of creating multiple sparks. In terms of talents, you can go Glass Cannon. It works perfectly fine, but I would only advise a little bit more experienced players to use this because they know what's coming. However, for me personally, even though I know there's great value in having the Glass Cannon, I just don't seem to like my melee characters having Glass Cannon. So personally, what I would look at taking from the beginning of the game would be Executioner. So there you go, that concludes the Sparking Swings beginner friendly guide. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you so much for watching. and see you in the next one.